Hello, romance lovers! Today's story is called It Was More of a Maid's Job Than a Princess. If you enjoy our videos, don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss out on more exciting stories. Birds are singing. Morning dew is shining on the leaves. The sun is shining in the slightly cloudy blue sky. The warmth of the morning rays. How good it was. The other maid said they were glad they were done with that damned linen. Another maid didn't understand where all of it came from, because her arms were falling off. She had even grown muscles recently, more than any blacksmith. It was very ugly. And she looked at her colleague with displeasure. The main character looked at herself and wondered if she had any at all. They went to take a break, but the other one said that it was not necessary, because if they returned early, they would immediately be loaded with new work. They simply could not do it anymore, and that was it. Suddenly, one of them saw Princess Grace. Even for a princess, she was incredibly beautiful, and they thought it was very good when the father was an emperor. You could wear any clothes you wanted. You could eat whatever you wanted. This is real life. But the main character noted that she would not say that. She said that they do not even know how hard it is for her now. This dress weighs at least 20 kilograms. When you wear it, you feel like a pork sausage in a wrap all day long. Under her dress, she wears a tight corset. She can barely breathe. Walking in a corset feels like a giant is constantly squeezing her torso with his hand. The girl told the maids to try eating or going to the toilet in this state, and they would understand why she did not envy her at all. And she is also obliged to make a happy face in such pain, and asked how they feel about it. Now they understand what is behind her external happiness. The maid asked Jeanne how she knew how to be a princess. The main character was indeed just such a princess just recently. Her parents are a king and a queen. She was born in a small kingdom. Her name is Sienna, Asseland von Sillet. This is her as a baby. She thought she would grow up loved and happy like any other princess, but her mother died when she was 10 years old, and her father immediately brought a new woman into the house. Even though she felt very lonely and missed her mother, Sienna still tried to fulfill her duty to her family. The woman told her not to worry, because she would make her an elegant and refined princess in memory of her mother, under the guise of education. She faced constant bullying and beatings. It is strange that she cannot learn anything, no matter how hard she tries. The wife said that one more incorrect greeting and she would beat Sienna with this whip again. Sienna didn't understand how much more could she do. It was the 100th time already. The corset was choking her and the dress was too heavy. She would probably die, but this upbringing was normal for the princess. The girl said that she greeted her dear mother, so she had to endure it. Her mother asked why she couldn't get it, and she asked how many more times she had to explain it to her. The stepmother asked her when she would understand, because she was a princess. The woman did not understand how she could look His Majesty in the eyes if she could not be taught. After all, she herself was to blame for everything. It's all for the kingdom. She swung at the girl, and the emperor entered the room. The woman tried to explain. Sienna was happy to see her father and hoped that he would save her. But he simply said that his wife was doing the right thing, because a mother must raise a naughty child. The main character couldn't believe that it was all her fault. Sienna just wanted to be happy. She tried her best to be a princess worthy of her family. The girl hates this family, and she thought it would be better for her to just disappear. That's what she thought, but Sienna didn't expect that to be what would happen. When she turned 18, imperial troops stormed the palace in just half a day. The kingdom fell to the invaders. Prince Rashid the Bloody. Rashid Labadan de Adren, Crown Prince of the Labadan Empire. He said that he had not deigned to answer her letter, so he decided to come in person. He asked if they were ready to surrender. Sienna was of course ready. If they surrendered, he could spare them. Sienna tried to tell her father something, but he shouted that he would never ask for mercy from the invader and that he would rather die. Sienna was horrified. Rashid said it would be as he wanted. He was just in shock. The prince said that he would get what he wanted. He probably considers himself a hero. He did not bow his head before the conqueror. Let everyone know about it. And he said goodbye to the man. Sienna understood that he was coming to her. Her life hasn't been that happy, but she doesn't want it to end like this. Sienna fell to her knees and begged him to spare her. The princess screamed that she was ready for anything. The prince asked again if she really agreed to everything, and asked if she was ready to become his concubine. But she refused, and she said that she was not a beauty at all, and there was no charm in her. On the contrary, she was not distinguished by her external features. She is even often asked why she is so dull and boring. She is sure that she will not give him any pleasure. However, Siana is in excellent health. She embroiders very beautifully and is a wonderful tea brewer. So she asks His Highness the Prince to make her his maid. The girl couldn't believe that she had really said that. She considered herself a complete fool and didn't understand what to do now. The prince said that he wanted to see her face. When she looked at his face, she noticed that he was incredibly handsome. They say that he is an incomparable master of the sword. But is it not because the enemy could admire his face while the crown prince furiously chopped at him? Rashid said that everything was as she said. Siana looks like a Lenten bread, round and pale face. It means he doesn't want to see her as a concubine. The prince said it would be so. Siana would be a maid in her imperial palace. The man ordered to untie her hands. She managed to survive. Hellish torments had just passed her by. Siana thanked His Highness and said that her name was Siana, Asaland von Silit. She said she would never forget the favor shown. The prince remarked that he seemed to have spared the sweet girl, so she became a junior maid in the imperial palace. She was a princess in the kingdom, and in the empire, she became a maid. Siana could despair, considering her situation a disaster. But she bakes bread with her own hands, washes dirty clothes, and keeps the garden tidy and beautiful. It's a completely different world than the princess's, where she was strangled by tight corsets and had to constantly keep a doll-like smile on her lips. It's 100 times nicer and safer. Being a maid is just great. She would like to live like this until she gets old. Everything was so clean. It just sparkled. Again, she was busy with something she wasn't asked to do. The maid said that she was so eager to impress the senior maids and told her not to be an upstart and to know her place. This was Jean, the youngest maid, speaking. She was still a slave, taken from the fallen royal family. She will never be made head maid. That girl with goldfish poop on her cheeks has a personal grudge against her. Or maybe it's a war for territory. The maid ran up to them and said that Jana was bullying the quiet one again. She told Jana to stop because she was disturbing everyone's work here. If this continues, she will complain to the senior maids. It was the junior maid named Juju. Jana said that she was not offending her, but gave her balanced and very wise advice. But if she wants to mess around with this useless orphan, then that's her business. Let her do what she wants and wash the floor for free. They threw the bucket and ran away. Hooligans. They act like nobody knows who. Juzu said that Siana is also good because she should not have kept quiet but fought back. And she does not realize that the more she keeps quiet and endures, the more they will bother her. Siana asked her if they were doing something scary. Juju asked if she was serious about asking her or if she was just kidding. That's right. For a former princess who had been bullied for years by her stepmother, this bullying seemed like nothing more than cute pranks. Siana was confused as to what it was. But it seemed to be a real war for territory. Jana is the daughter of a wealthy merchant, famous throughout the empire. So it would not be surprising if she got the position of head maid without any effort. Her friends are with her only because they want to bask in her glory and benefit. Even if that's the case, her background is what decides everything. She is guaranteed a position. Juzu did not understand what a rotten world this was. Juzu, like her, is a junior maid, unusually tall and strong. She has good potential as a maid. Her origins mean nothing now. She can't guarantee that she'll ever be promoted to head maid. But she can't believe that she has no patronage at all. Juzu said that she was a foreigner. If she was accepted as a junior maid, it meant that she had someone to turn to. It was a little surprising, but she immediately thought that there must be someone. The crown prince. It was he who made her, the heir to a damaged royal dynasty, a maid in his palace. Perhaps because she, forgetting her royal pride, fell on her face and begged for mercy. Maybe it's mercy. Or maybe the crown prince thought it was funny. A fleeting crush. A whim of someone who holds all the power in the world. Most likely, it means absolutely nothing. Siana said no, she had no patronage. The prince asked Sol how the girl was doing. Sol, Crown Prince Rashid's aide. He is irritated by the prince's appearance. Everyone who saw him, even from afar, could not take their eyes off him. Even enemies sometimes, admiring him, miss a sword strike. He knows him well. They grew up together. Perhaps because he is the only one who is immune to his charms. But he constantly sees what idiots people sometimes turn into when they see his face. He reported that Siana is coping. They say she is a little clumsy because she is not yet accustomed to work, but she is honest, smart, and a quick learner. But she was still a long way from being promoted. The prince understood everything. Sul asked His Highness why he was interested in this. The man said he didn't even know and thought it was guilt. Because he invaded her country and killed her family. How many he killed. And never thought about it. Sul did not understand what was happening to him. The adjutant asked the prince to tell the truth, because he knows the weaknesses of His Highness. And he cannot pass by a miniature, big-eyed, and innocent person. The so-called Blood Prince Rashid. This cruel, handsome man is actually a big fan of animals. Sul has seen it many times, but he never ceases to be amazed. In fact, after he told him about it, he realized that she really is like that. Apparently, this is what caused such feelings in her. The prince hoped that she would learn the trade of a maid. This is a hint that he should help her. Sul told the prince that her abilities are not proven yet, and she cannot be made a maid. Sul asked why not test her to see if she could really become a good maid. No meat again. Sienna was shocked that they didn't try to control what she ate so that she wouldn't lose her sophistication. There is no need to even think about it here. The main character did not believe that she could eat everything she could. It was just heaven. Jana said that she probably came from a hungry and poor country. No wonder she likes this top so much. Sienna thought that she was trying to tease her. Or maybe not. But that was not enough. Or she might say something else. Jana didn't understand what was wrong with this fool. Usually, when she does that, everyone starts crying. And she doesn't understand what that expression even means. You'd think she was in love with her. Jana said that Sienna acts like she is saying something nice and interesting and thinks it is witty. The maid didn't understand what kind of slave mentality these foreigners had. It seemed the crown prince had broken her. Juzu came up and said that this was not right, and asked Jana if she had already warned her. She told Jana not to bother the quiet one. Otherwise, there would be consequences. Jana said that she had let her behavior go many times before, but she could not understand that it was out of pity. The girl said that because of her size, Juju thinks that she is the boss, but that is not true. Jana is the boss here. Juju said that she was the boss only because of her idiocy. It was like a fight between a bear and a hyena. A girl came into the room and asked what the noise was and asked if they were arguing. It was Reef, the head maid and instructor of the newbies, and the maids immediately said that it was not so. She said that she didn't care at all, even death, as long as she didn't have any troubles. The authorities are passing on a message. There will be a tea party in the park in a few days, and they are required to welcome the guests. It was not clear why they, the junior maids, should greet the guests. The service should be impeccable according to all the rules of etiquette, without a hitch. Usually this role is given to the junior maid, who is recognized as the best. They asked who would come to tea. They believed that she was the refined wife of some aristocrat or a beautiful foreign princess. But the girls said that these would be people who grow fruits for the imperial table. The fruits these women farmers produced were always of excellent quality. Therefore, in honor of their persistent and noble work, His Highness ordered that they be rewarded with tea at the palace. All these days they will practice etiquette, so in the mornings they should not be late for lessons. And they were only happy. The maid was furious and did not understand why she had to serve some peasant women. Jana said that this job is perfect for Sienna. When else would she show herself as a real maid if not by serving with these? Since the guests were just peasants, they set this task for them, the junior maids. The head maids wouldn't waste their time on this. And yet it's strange. The next morning, Reef said that today she would explain tea etiquette to them. They were junior maids, but still belonged to the palace household. They must listen carefully so as not to disgrace the emperor later. The maids were all attentive. Juzu said that this was real luck. They were only just learning to be maids, but they were already being given real work. She really wanted to learn. However, zeal and ability do not always correspond to each other. Riff asked Juju how many more times she had to repeat to him that when you pour tea, you can't spill it. Jana said to look at Juja, because she probably never even drank tea in her life. Black tea, definitely not, because she probably likes beer, like her dad. Juju was simply furious, and Riff told Jana that she was next and ordered her to begin. It wasn't bad. Jana was told that she was simply clever because she could do it so well. Jana said it was a trifle. Of course it was a trifle, because she had been taught by the best etiquette teacher in town. And it cost Daddy a hefty sack of gold. It is not fitting for her to remain a pupil for long. Jean has decided that she will become the chief chambermaid of Her Majesty. That's for sure. Reef said it wasn't bad considering it was her first time. When Sienna was a princess, she knew that only the best would be chosen to be Her Majesty's maid of honor. And for the slightest offense, the queen punished them mercilessly. And those chambermaids were truly the best in their field. Their graceful manners sometimes surpassed those of some noble ladies. They tried to project calm and dignity so as not to irritate the queen when tea was served. But in comparison to them, these girls are complete incompetence. Next is Sienna. Reef said to pour tea, but even for this, they are not kicked out. Sienna is no longer a princess, and she does not want to stand out from the others by trying too hard. That's it. A thin and long stream of tea. It turned out a little awkward. Sienna doesn't want to be better than everyone else. You have to be more modest. They were all happy to have the opportunity to learn etiquette, but their duties were still there. And after the lesson, they returned to work. Cleaning, kindling, washing dishes. The girls worked hard. Leftover bread is a favorite snack for hungry maids. Sienna was very grateful. That's why she loves working in the kitchen so much. How lucky she was that this was her job. And thanks to Juju, they finished early today. Only something is wrong with her today. She is silent. Sienna asked Juju if she was hungry. She asked about her homework. Sienna hoped she hadn't noticed that she had intentionally poured the tea poorly. Sienna said it was difficult, but fortunately she had managed to avoid being reprimanded. Juza said that she envied her. Actually, Juza got the most reprimands from Madame today. Juju has always been praised, but now for the first time Sienna sees the opposite. This is probably her first failure. The maid said she was ashamed to admit it, but Jana was right. Juju had never drunk tea, and she had never been able to learn anything very quickly. Everyone saw that she was the worst at it. They were probably worried that she would ruin the whole tea ceremony. Sienna, a maid. But Juju is the only one who takes care of her. She is a maid, just like Sienna. So if she has something to help, she should definitely. Sienna asked if she wanted her to teach her. Sienna said she would practice with her. Juju asked if she really wanted to teach her. Juju threw herself into her arms and said that she was so good. All she did was scrub the floors every day like crazy. She didn't think that Sienna was so responsive. The main character didn't understand whether it was a compliment or an insult. The next day, they began their training. After lunch in the servants' dining room, Sienna told Juju to watch carefully. You need to take enough boiling water to preheat the cups before serving. You need 1 spoon of tea leaves in the teapot. In theory, the process is not complicated. After adding the tea leaves, wait a little and start pouring. But it needs to be honed in practice. Sienna told Juju that she was great because she was doing much better. At least she didn't mix up the sequence of actions, so she will be more confident in front of the guests. Juju asked again. Sienna said yes, because this time she didn't spill a drop of tea. The girl said that it was all thanks to her. He teaches much better than other maids. Sienna said it was because of her efforts, and she is a very good student. They became best friends during their studies. Juju's father is a miner. He has 13 children. He works constantly, but they don't have enough to live on. This surprised Sienna, and she asked again, and she wants to help, so she became a maid. They say senior maids are well paid. Sienna noted that she is a good daughter. Juju said that if she is a good daughter, then of course she wants her brothers and sisters to eat their fill. And then she asked Sienna how she got there. If she was a foreigner, she must be in even worse shape than she was. Sienna said that not long ago, she was a princess. If she says that, it will only complicate things. She said that the crown prince had made her a maid because the state where she lived no longer existed. This surprised Juju, and she asked if she was talking about Crown Prince Rashid. About the invincible in battle, the bloody crown prince. Sienna confirmed it. Juju asked if she was sure that she saw him and asked if it was really him. The girl confirmed it. Juju was absolutely delighted. Sienna had heard gossip from the maids about him. He was a very famous person here. They say his face is so beautiful it looks like it was carved from marble. And his hair shines like pearls when the sun hits it. His enchanting eyes are like the Milky Way. They say he is a handsome man. Juju said that she dreams of seeing him. Sienna said it was true. He was very handsome. It seemed like the rumors were true. But for all his beauty, he was so cruel. That's what people say. Sienna said she was right. And he killed Sienna's entire family. Juju apologized for asking such questions. She couldn't even imagine that something like this had happened to them. Sienna knew that she couldn't tell the truth. The main character said that it was nothing because she didn't care. Her family constantly offended and mocked her. Juju didn't understand how this was even possible. How could she not care that her family was killed? She apologized and said that she would rather have her tongue cut out for asking such a question. She would react like this, so she could not answer directly. Sienna said that time had simply passed and everything had been forgotten, and asked her not to worry about her. Juju asked if she was just saying this so she wouldn't feel guilty. The maid hugged Ziana and said that she was very kind. It was a half-truth. From then on, Juju's attitude towards her became even better. Noon, working hours. Jana tried to say something to Sivna, but then she saw Juja. She said, "Just try to tell her something bad, and she will pull out her filthy mouth like a rope and tie it to that column. She just wanted to ask the time. It's just funny." And Juju constantly feeds her. Juju handed the candy to Siana and said that she was already big, but a button like her needs to eat well to grow. But candy doesn't make people grow. Siana said the candy was so sweet. Siana said that this wasn't some stale bread. How could this prince kill such a cutie's family? He is a psycho and a murderer. Juju was very angry with him. Siana thought she could hear her thoughts. Everything was written all over her face. Siana even feels guilty that she now hates the crown prince because of her. But it's so nice to have someone who is always ready to be on her side. If he's that bad, he probably hears insults like that all the time. And he'll pretend he didn't hear anything. Sol asked the prince what was wrong with him. The prince said that his ears were itching. Someone was cursing her. There is such a superstition in the empire. Well, that's funny. If that were the case, their ears would itch all day and night, all year round. He would be rolling on the floor from the excruciating itch. Of course, the Appletons have the best apples. He agrees that they are good, but why did they invite farmers to the palace? Sol said he would guess that these apples contain the essence of Siana's test. He guessed correctly. He said he would do her the honor of letting her play with his pets for a whole day. Sol apologized and said he would refuse, because such a prize is worse than no prize at all. The prince said that he was sorry that he didn't even realize how cool these animals were. It just so happens that Baroness Appleton has expressed a desire to attend the tea party, and he is looking forward to it. The day of tea had arrived. Since it was necessary not to disgrace the name of the imperial family, the junior maids prepared for tea in advance, and very carefully they had a lot of work to do. Early in the morning, it was necessary to tidy up the lawns in the garden, to arrange white tables according to the number of guests. To keep the tables from looking too modest, each table needed a vase of freshly cut hydrangeas. Here's the last one. Siana thought these flowers were very beautiful. It turns out that not only the farm workers will be at the tea party, but also the owner of the apple orchard, Baroness Appleton. Somehow, everyone perked up. Now their task is not only to receive common guests with dignity. They simply have to make a good impression on the Baroness. Juju said that Jana is just a doll today. She has such beautiful hairpins and elegant makeup. But Juju thought she had overdone it. Sina thought she had gone completely crazy. Modesty is sometimes the best adornment. Siana asked if that was why she was so neat too, to impress the Baroness. Juju said that this was her first important guest. She wanted to do at least something to look a little more beautiful. If she were great at serving guests, that would be great. After all, Juju had a good teacher. Juju said with a smile that she was also a good student. And together they would succeed. When the gates opened and the guests entered, the junior maids greeted them solemnly. The women were shocked that this was the imperial palace. She wore her best dress to this tea party. But still, Reef told the ladies to follow her. She would show them to their seats. After greeting, the maids seated the guests. Siana doesn't understand who's holding them back. Jana doesn't understand whether she's not coming. Jana wanted to serve Baroness Appleton. That's why she was so worried. How predictable. And it's not just Jeanne, it's how they behave. All the maids behave like noble people. They were grateful for such a reception. This even confuses and makes guests feel awkward. It is easy to impress ordinary women. After all, they are of low origin and are not vested with power. The tea ceremony will only begin when all the guests arrive. And as a rule, it is at the end that the guest everyone has been waiting for arrives, Baroness Appleton. Siana noticed that she was a very stately lady. Jeanne immediately fell at her feet and welcomed her to the imperial palace. She looked at the other maids as if to say that the Baroness was hers. Everyone wanted to stay away from her. Jana said that she would see her off and asked them to follow her. Rich rose scent. Is this really Aigle rose wine? This perfume is very popular among noble ladies. but she thought that Baroness Appleton belonged to the poorer part of the aristocracy. If she could afford this perfume, then she was richer than she thought. The maids were shocked by how spectacular she was. She was a dream, the wife of a baron who owned a fruit tree nursery. They envied Jana for snatching up such a beautiful guest. It seems the woman came with her too. Sienna doesn't understand why they are whispering like that. She can certainly serve a commoner even if she's not a baroness. But this woman is very ugly. She will not serve her. The tea ceremony will not begin until the last guest arrives. This means that no guest can be left unattended. Sienna welcomed the woman to the imperial palace. Sienna said to follow her, and she leads her to a table. Each table has 3 to 4 people, and 1 maid serves. When all the guests are seated, the tea ceremony finally begins. The lady never thought that she would have the honor of attending such an event. This is not a tea party, but a tea party in the imperial palace. The lady thought she would grow old working in the apple orchard, and here is such luxury. When the lady gets home, she brags to her husband about where she's been. He'll be green with envy. Simple talk and honest. No gossip. No one is being gossiped about. Maybe that's why she feels so lighthearted now, after everything she's been through in the kingdom. However, this does not mean that they will be so tolerant of their mistakes. Sienna provided the ladies with the main dessert. This is chocolate made from con cocoa. It melts in your mouth. Everyone was shocked that this is the same chocolate. This is a dessert that is served to princesses and queens. Even a sullen prince will become kinder from this delicacy. A magical dessert. Chocolate. She had only heard about it, but never thought she would try it. She decided to try it. A huge wave of sweetness. The lady simply drowned in it. The dessert was incredibly delicious. It really melts in your mouth. They didn't know what to do because it was getting smaller and smaller. She can understand their reaction since this is the first time they have tried chocolate. Sienna became very curious whether the lady liked it. She approached her and asked if she needed a napkin. The lady immediately turned away. Sienna asked if she needed help. The woman said she didn't need anything. The ladies turned to the maid and asked if she could have a napkin too. It was somehow inconvenient, though. She seemed to go mad when she tasted the chocolate. They don't like serving either, I guess, serving country bumpkins like them. Sienna said that it was not so, because they were all dear guests in her eyes and asked them to enjoy their tea and be calm. The ladies said that if they wanted anything else, they need not hesitate. The ladies asked for tea. The tea is very aromatic, probably because it is tea for the imperial table. Another lady said that she does not see any difference from the tea she drinks at home. They say it's boring to try it to understand what elite tea is all about. But what do they know about it? Of all of them, only one lady could understand such things. The lady believed that it was Baroness Appleton. Sienna apologized for not knowing her ladyship by sight. The Baroness had only recently married Baron Appleton. She hadn't yet inspected the apple orchard, so they hadn't seen her. They said the Baron had fallen in love with her. She wondered if she was really that beautiful, and it turns out she really is a very beautiful woman. Knows etiquette inside and out. It seems Baroness Appleton is one of those people. Jana must be very attentive and not make mistakes. If she makes a fool of herself in front of such an important person, the tea party will be ruined. She wanted others to watch how to work. She got a high-status guest, not like the others. She is Jana, the daughter of a diamond magnate. She is in her place now, next to an important person. And let these ones hang around village women. She provided chocolate, an exquisite delicacy made by the imperial confectioners. It is made from very valuable and rare ingredients. Jean told the Baroness to try. Lady Appleton asked how much longer she had to put up with her behavior. The Baroness spoke of her haughty greeting and appraising glance. She did not even mention that she served her dessert as if she were doing her a favor. Jana doesn't even know how to pour tea properly. The Baroness asked how much longer she had to endure this rudeness. The maid apologized and said she would try to be more careful. Jean knew she had been careless. Her etiquette teacher was a nobleman, and she was always praised for how smart she was. The Baroness said that this meant that the servants in the imperial palace were good for nothing, and she asked what she should do with them. They say that servants who fail to perform their duties should be severely punished. She said that Jean would be flogged with rods all night long so that she would remember her lesson. Or maybe her tongue would be cut out. The Baroness asked what punishment she deserved. Jean did not know what to do because she was so afraid. Sienna rushed to apologize. She apologized for the fact that their abilities did not meet her refined taste and asked to be lenient towards them. The Baroness said that if only everything could be resolved with just a bow and an apology, then it would all be very easy to live. And I asked her if she was telling her to continue to tolerate this insolence. The Baroness did not understand why this should be. Sienna said that the imperial family had organized this tea party, and she asked if the hosts would be offended if the guests were unhappy, and she doesn't think that's what she wants. The Baroness asked if this was a threat. Sienna asked how she dared threaten such a dear guest. She's just trying to clear up a misunderstanding so that everyone is happy. The Baroness agreed, and she said that if she failed to respect her, she would receive the punishment of the real culprit. Sienna said she understood her. Sienna said they were serving Ingrid's Earl Grey tea today. The main thing now is to become a real maid. The taste of black tea is affected by the amount. The composition is important, but so is the correct dosage. Without scales, it is impossible to accurately weigh how much to put in the teapot. The tea may turn out either bitter or watery. The spoon should not be heaped. Pour slowly so that the leaves gather into lumps. At the right temperature, you need to start pouring in time. Sienna asked her if she would like to try it. Raise the teapot high so that the stream of tea mixes with the air. This gives a rich aroma. Be careful not to spill a drop on the saucer. Move smoothly and calmly. The water temperature and amount of tea are perfect. Sienna said that if she likes it stronger, she can tell. However, the rest is a matter of taste. No matter how perfectly the tea is brewed, no matter what elite grade it is, if it doesn't suit her taste, then everything will be bad. The Baroness said it was magnificent. She did it. Sienna is glad she liked it. If she needs anything else, she just has to say so. The Baroness said that she would wait on her. The tension that had been created instantly dissipated, and the rest of the tea party passed without incident. Sienna apologized to the lady that she was supposed to be looking after them, but that's how it turned out. The ladies said it was nothing to worry about. It was even for the best. If the Baroness had gotten angry, who knows what would have happened then. She was so scared that she didn't even want to eat chocolate. Thanks to her, they enjoyed their tea peacefully. Sienna was grateful to the ladies for their kindness. The lady wished the maids good luck. The maid said they wanted to tell her something. She said she really had something to think about. The woman told Sienna that she herself could see that she was not at all suited to high society. She was afraid that she would hear many disdainful words when she arrived at the imperial palace. She felt very uneasy, but she didn't expect something completely different to happen. Thanks to her, she dared to go and didn't stay in the ladies' carriage. She drank fragrant tea with sweet chocolate and spent time in interesting conversation with her friends. She will never forget this happy day. Maids should never show personal attitude towards guests. It has been like that since ancient times. A maid should be faceless and polite. She is so happy now. It was an honor for her to serve her at the table. But it is very difficult for her to hide her feelings now. After tea, the junior maids resumed their normal workday. They prepared for tea early in the morning. They served guests under the scorching sun. And they still had work to do until sunset. This is a typical working day for a maid. In reality, a maid's working day is completely different. It's already late evening, and there's a lot of work to do. Reef said they worked hard. Many were so tired and just dying. At the same time, Juzu said that it was really cool that you could finish off the guests' food. Sienna knew it was imperial chocolate, bitter cocoa, and the highest quality butter. Sienna asked Juzu why she didn't eat. She said that if she ate sweets, she would lose muscle mass. Sienna said she must have had a hard time at the tea party. A very hard time. Juzu asked if she had noticed. Juju was so worried that she could hardly cope with her duties. The lady said to just look at Juju. They really need a girl like that on the farm. Those huge biceps. She can lift a table with ease. They asked her if she wanted to give up this ignoble occupation and go to work for them in the apple orchard. Juju said that they were not interested in her skills as a servant. Jean said that she did a great job, and she helped them all out. She did it so well. They started asking if she could teach them the tea ceremony. These girls treated her like a nobody ever since they found out she was a foreigner from a captured kingdom. That's how suddenly they changed their attitude. Well, impudence is the second happiness, especially when she's a maid. Jana asked if they were both crazy. She asked so what if she was good at serving at tea parties. Why did they immediately swear allegiance to some foreigner from the conquered kingdom? Jean asked if they were ashamed. They asked Jana if she knew what shame was. She thought she knew, because she was as quiet as a mouse and lower than grass during the whole tea party. The tea party almost ended in complete failure because of the way she made a fool of herself in front of the Baroness. It was a shame that Sienna had to correct her mistakes. They could have all been flogged because of Jana, and maybe even fired. And instead of apologizing, she now tells them this. The girl needs to learn to keep her nose to the wind and understand her situation. Jana told them to be friends with this rabble now. She didn't care, and Baroness Appleton really stood out from the others. Such a regal bearing. Not just her bearing, her manners, her gait. How much true dignity there is in them. Maybe she is not just a baroness. Sol was surprised to see Madame, like a sharp blade. He said that if she constantly comes to the prince's room at night, people will misunderstand. She is strict and full of grace. And she asked how he would order her to forget about His Highness, like she was a princess. Sienna didn't understand what was happening to her. It was all nonsense. Sol told her to forget because he's only normal on the outside. But in reality, all he thinks about is soft squirrel paws. He immediately apologized and was shocked that he said it out loud. The Baroness told him to continue. It was very interesting. The Baroness told the knight to get out of the way. She thought he would tearfully beg her for forgiveness. Now it's clear who the princess is. Sul said he would order a bath to be prepared. He bought a magic stone worth an average estate, all so he could pretend to be a woman for half a day. Magic stone, super deluxe level, changes the body for 12 hours. It's really crazy. Sol asked how his visit had gone, and asked if Sienna had disappointed him. Rashid said no and added that he was confident in her from the start, but she even exceeded his expectations. It is not so easy for her to adopt the maid style of behavior. However, she has delicate, thin hands. She modestly looks away so as not to meet his gaze. Incredibly, she is perfect. She embodies the height of etiquette and politeness, and her grace cannot be hidden under the clothes of a maid. Sol thought the prince was crazy and didn't understand what he was talking about. He wondered if he even understood that she had every reason to hate him. He's not good with logic. He said he was going because he needed to trim his nails. Nom nom. Sol said he couldn't go because his birthday ball was about to start. He was asked what kind of girls he liked, and the guy said that he was absolutely sure that everything in this world that is not cute must die. A man with disgusting misanthropy. But at the same time, he has amazing insight. But that doesn't mean that Sul can say something like the princess is cute, and yet it is her calling to be a maid. Sol hoped the prince wasn't going to bring her here. He didn't understand what kind of nonsense that was. And who even takes princesses from defeated countries as personal maids? But this crazy guy can do it. This is too much. He decided to remind the prince that he killed Ziana's family. She is calm, but that does not mean that she will not do anything when she is his maid. The prince said that she had passed the test, and he smiled sarcastically. At first glance, everything is fine and there are no stains, but there is a hole. This is how she applies the art of embroidery, which she has been learning since she was 5 years old. Still, years of practice take their toll. Reef told Sienna that they had a guest. Appleton wants to meet her. Tea party, I think. It went smoothly, and she doesn't understand why she came. Sienna thought she had made a mistake. If not, it was unclear. The Baroness apologized for disturbing her and asked if she was surprised. This time they will meet her. As befits. She is Magdalena Appleton. She made a very good impression on her at tea. The Baroness greeted the maid Sienna. She wanted to express her gratitude with a gift. She asked if Sienna would give her some of her time. Sienna asked again, Is she Baroness Appleton? The woman confirmed this and asked if she wanted to sit down and talk. Sienna was shocked that she was the Baroness. But if so, then she doesn't understand who that noble lady is. After all, she never once gave her name. Sienna apologized and said that she had made a terrible mistake because she didn't know who she was. Ziane felt very ashamed and did not understand how she could have made such a mistake. The lady begged her pardon very much if she had given her any offense. The lady said not to worry because she herself had come incognito. This is how it should be. The imperial family invites you to tea. Such an opportunity is given once in a lifetime. The Baroness didn't know whether to go. Because of her appearance, she prefers not to go out in public. She was already thinking about refusing this tea party, because she already knows what rumors will spread. If she comes to the Imperial Palace, everyone will talk about how Baron Appleton's wife can look so awful. With such a scruffy and unkempt appearance, she belonged among her gardeners. She simply could not allow this. Here's another letter from the Imperial family. And if someone else had received this letter, they asked her to attend a tea party incognito. This was the Baroness's chance. This opportunity was as attractive as a ripe apple on a tree. If she doesn't say who she is, no one will bother her. And from the moment she arrives at the tea party, she already knows everything. Even dressed in a shabby maid's uniform, without makeup on her face, she is full of grace and dignity. Sienna made a great impression on the Baroness. She thought how wonderful it would be to be as graceful as she was. So from that day on, she sat down to study etiquette. She had such fun at tea because she surrounded her with care. Therefore, she would like to greet her as befits her. The Baroness is very grateful for this wonderful tea party. Sienna was shocked that the Baroness greeted the maid with a bow. Everything was wrong. She was holding her hand wrong, and the stand-up routine didn't work either. And yet, Sienna feels warmth from her. It's just a greeting. But it says more to her than 1,000 words. She is loved and knows how to make people happy. That's why Sienna is nobody to judge her. Sienna said she doesn't deserve gratitude. She treats her with respect. Therefore, she will definitely reciprocate. Sienna was grateful to Madame and said that she would never forget her kindness. The lady asked them why they thought Snow White died after eating the apple. The lady said that if an apple like this were poisoned, she would still eat it. These apples are very tasty. They just fought for these apples. For the maids who worked hard and ate only stale bread. Baroness Appleton, who gave them honey apples, became nothing less than a goddess. They all said they loved the Baroness. They are really tasty. So this noble lady is a member of the imperial family. Silver hair and violet eyes, just like the crown prince. Sienna assumed it was his sister, the princess. But why would she come to a tea party where the maids were half-educated? She thought she had no friends at all. Reef said that even if the end of the world was approaching, she would still not refuse a honey apple. From that day on, Sienna was promoted to head maid. This surprised Sienna so much that she dropped the apple on the floor. Jana screamed that this was complete nonsense. It wasn't just about her. None of them understood her decision at all. She told Reef to explain herself. She said that there had been a tea party a couple of days ago. It was really a test of their abilities. And Reef believes there is no doubt in anyone's mind who did the best. And she declares this topic closed. Reef told Sienna that she must be at the Ruby Castle at dawn, because she will serve Princess Aris. That's all. They all wanted to become head maids, and the main character came later than everyone else, but she was the first to be accepted. Sienna didn't want to stand out and didn't understand how it happened. Now everyone will hate Sienna. It seems she will have to get used to this attitude now. But everyone started congratulating Sienna. She was now the princess's maid, and they envied her. Sienna was already starting to feel like a fool, because she had imagined all sorts of things. She felt awkward. The lady said she was really sad. But if she hadn't intervened, the tea party would have been a complete failure. The lady may not have risen to the rank of senior maid, but she doesn't want to be envious. But Sienna treated them to these wonderful apples. Sienna was grateful. She forgot that these were completely different people from those who surrounded her in the kingdom. The lady said that when she got her first salary, she would bring them some more tasty things. The maids were shocked by this. Jana said that they were complete fools, and they were not pressed for hypocrisy anywhere. She screamed that they had gone mad. The maid didn't understand how she, with such an obscure background, could have been made a maid before her. She didn't understand it at all. Juju told Jana that she was talking nonsense. Jana told them to just wait and she would tell her daddy everything. Jana is behaving simply terribly, but all the better, they will get more apples. They decided to eat together. Jana yelled at everyone. But the maids quickly forgot about it while eating delicious food and talking. The apples were so delicious. Luckily, she doesn't have much luggage. Sienna never imagined that she would move anywhere from here. But from tomorrow onwards, she will already be the senior maid of the imperial court. You can stay as a junior maid for as long as they say. Even forever. However, it's better than being a princess. She gets very tired, but it's a good job. Sienna didn't understand who was there. It was Juju. Sienna asked her if something had happened. Juju just wanted to give her a present for her promotion. She's leaving them, so she bought something in a hurry. The maid really hoped she would like it. Maids are allowed to dress up a little, so there you go. Juju asked her not to dare to think that she was worse than anyone. She should hold her head high. Juju probably bought this present with her savings. She doesn't have to say it. She knows it. Sienna feels like her heart is being crushed. Juju didn't understand what was happening to her and thought she didn't like the hairpin. She simply asked the saleswoman to choose the most beautiful one. Siana threw herself into Juju's arms and was very grateful to her, and said that she was very beautiful. Juju smiled and said that they were friends. It was so warm next to Juju. She told Siana not to cry and to go to bed. Reef asked if Princess Eris had her own maid. The lady said she did, and it was her. She said she just asked her to translate because it was just unbearable. Reef asked what it was that she wanted. The maid asked for a cup of tea and said that there was something wrong with this job. Only those who were there knew. She said that it would be better to scrub floors and run errands. There is no such maid in nature that would suit a princess. At least in their empire, there is definitely no such person. Siana was already prepared. She was the princess of a defeated kingdom and became a maid of the imperial court. Now she can only succeed. The lady told Siana that she was sorry to disappoint her, but the work would be very grueling. The maid said that no one wants to stay in this position for long. She said that if she had the chance, she would have left long ago. Siana said she understood and it must be very difficult to cope alone. She said it was very difficult, especially when you have to interact with the princess herself. The lady said she wasn't just picky. Princess Eris is the cruelest monster in the empire. One day, the emperor took a fancy to a dancer named Rosemary. He gave her a small palace with a garden, the Ruby Palace. Her daughter, the 7th princess, lives here. Sian couldn't believe that it was really true. The lady told the princess that she was welcoming her new maid. She is treated this way, no doubt, because her mother is of low birth. The maid almost fainted. She has no chance at all to grow up beautiful and healthy. In such an environment, the lady asked why she wasn't afraid. Siana apologized and said she didn't understand what had happened. She said that now she would do what she wanted. The princess did not understand what she was saying. Siana asked to be allowed to introduce herself to her. Siana is her new maid. It is an honor to meet her. The princess did not believe that this could happen. She did not understand at all why she was not afraid. Eris said she was boring and told her to leave because she didn't like maids. Siana didn't understand what was happening to her. The maid was very grateful to Siana that she was now free. She wanted to get out of here for so long, but she couldn't because there was no replacement for her. And thanks to Siana, she is now free. Siana asked if she would show her how to work here. She said there was nothing to show. She just had to take care of the princess. It'll just be her and that little devil anyway. Siana's alone at work. The mistress hates her and she just doesn't know what to do. However, she must do her job. First, Siana decided to clean up. Even if she plowed and plowed, she still had to clean up what she could. How nice to see the result. The princess said that she was doing nonsense. Siana asked Eris how she could help her. Here she is again, treating Eris like she is a real princess. No one had ever treated her like this. The princess told Siana not to pretend. The maid didn't understand anything, because she would run away anyway at the first opportunity. Siana was shocked. Saul wondered why the Ruby Palace. However, that was not what she needed to worry about right now. The prince said he wouldn't mind bringing her to his palace. Sol realized she'd better retreat before he changed his mind. Sol said that he would pass on the message to the head maid and told the heir to rest. The prince said he wanted to bring her here, but he didn't even listen to the end. She has a sweet smile. Very sweet. Well, the Ruby Palace is very close, and he thinks that they will meet soon. Siana said it was terrible. It was a secret, and she didn't understand how Her Highness knew about it. Siana said it didn't matter to her. She was just a servant and was getting a salary. She would get paid more here, so she has no reason to refuse this job. So while she works here, she will try to serve her and take care of her. Siana is her maid. Eris asked if it would continue like this if she did this and kicked the bucket of water. The maid calmly said yes. Eris started to break everything. Siana did not react. Eris did not understand who this strange aunt was. Siana told the princess that she brought breakfast, milk, vegetables the princess does not want, and asked to bring her cakes. The maid told the princess that eating cakes for breakfast is not healthy at all. Eris is also a picky eater. Siana said that she won't grow well if she doesn't eat well. Eris said to look at her because she's growing well anyway. Siana was shocked at how skinny she was. Eris said she was already 10 years old. No matter how difficult this girl is, you can't treat her like that. Even if there are some excuses for it, Siana decided that this would not work and that minimal care had to be provided. She said that she was not lying to her. She said that if she didn't eat well, she would grow up sickly, so she has to eat. And when she eats everything, she will give her something sweet. Eris thought she was strange. Siana said that then she would have to brush her teeth, so she would give her sweets tomorrow. Eris said that she lied to her. The best time of the day is morning. The birds are chirping and the sun is up. Siana told Aris that her delicious breakfast is ready. The princess said she wanted to sleep and told the maid to go away. Eris screamed and asked what it was, because she wants a proper breakfast. Siana said that was all that was left. She ate a buttered sandwich and baked chicken herself. Eris asked if she was crazy and didn't understand why she ate it. She just obeys the rules of the imperial palace. Servants are usually expected to finish their master's meals. Eris refused breakfast, so Siana ate it. Getting a fussy child to eat is easy. She uses the tried and true, if you don't eat your food fast, she'll eat it herself method. Any child stops being capricious when you make them understand the value of food. Eris said she didn't like it. Siana was not starved for educational purposes. She said to eat to your heart's content, but the educational activities did not end there. Siana was glad that Eris left her the vegetables that she loved so much. The method is this. The food she doesn't want to eat is the one she likes the most. Eris started screaming that she wasn't finished yet. Eris realized that this meant that the servants were finishing up their master's food and said to look. There was nothing left and she would be hungry. Siana said that she was great and that they had the best princess, and immediately apologized for her inappropriate behavior. The princess said that she had already eaten, so she should go away and stop and not disturb her. Eris didn't understand why. They had figured out healthy eating. Now they needed to figure out hygiene. Siana came up and told the princess it was time to take a bath. She didn't want to at all, because she hated water. The brush is itchy and the foam is driving her crazy. Siana said that if she doesn't wash herself, she will attract bugs that like to live in dirty places. The beetles eat hair and skin. Of course, they poop and sometimes even fart. Eris said that was a lie. She had never seen such. Siana asked her if she felt her head itching, like something small was crawling around in her hair. It was the bugs eating her. Eris was simply disgusted. She only takes a bath when she is invited to receptions at the palace. Very rarely. But she doesn't want to be gnawed by bugs. It turns out that this thing is not prickly, but even pleasant. The foam doesn't get into her eyes and doesn't sting, and she likes the smell of rosemary oil. Siana even knew what she was thinking. And lastly, brush your teeth. Bugs also live in your mouth and feed on the food particles stuck to your teeth. But that wasn't all. You need to dry your hair because bugs like wet hair too. Eris said that she had worn her out today. She was so tired. Siana was grateful to the princess for her patience. It's time to sleep. And Siana will read her a story. Eris started screaming at her to go away because she doesn't give her any peace even here. Siana said she was very sorry because she just wanted to help her fall asleep by reading her a very interesting and exciting story. But since she so wishes, Eris sharply told her to stop. She agreed, but told her to tell quickly. Once upon a time, there lived a diamond princess. This princess, as her name suggests, loved sparkling diamonds. She collected diamonds from all over the world and decorated her outfits with them. The princess herself shone like a diamond. One day, a rumor reached the princess that an evil dragon lived in the west, and he had a diamond, the rarest and most beautiful in the world. The princess was so eager to get hold of this diamond that she set out on a journey through thorn bushes and swamps. And when she finally arrived at the dragon's tower, the dragon looked at her and said that she was very beautiful. The dragon looked like a huge lizard. Eris said that she didn't understand anything. Siana said goodnight to the princess. She will take care of her so that she grows up healthy and strong, because it is her duty as the princess's maid. Everything has changed since this maid came to the palace. Siana asked the princess not to step on it. She just planted some seeds here, you can't step on them, otherwise they'll get damaged. Eris asked what flowers she planted. Siana said roses, sunflowers, and hydrangeas, and many other flowers. It's a nice sunny spot here, and the soil is soft. You just need to water it, and then the flowers will grow. Siana said that when they bloom, she will make her a beautiful wreath. Eris didn't understand why she continued to pretend that she was a princess. She thought that the maid was up to something. The princess didn't understand how she could expose the maid. Then she noticed Siana's hairpin. Eris asked what she was so happy about. When she turned around, she saw that the princess was wearing the hairpin that Juju had given her. She realized that she had been working so hard that she hadn't noticed she had dropped it. Siana apologized for bothering her and said that the pin she had put on was hers. She must have dropped it while tending to the flowers. She asked for it to be returned, but Eris didn't understand why. This is her palace. and everything here is hers. The maid said that this thing is dear to her, and she asks again to give it back. The princess was shocked that she suddenly became so strict, and she said that if she wanted the hairpin, she had to catch up with her. Eris thought she would never catch her. No maid could do it. The princess did not understand how she could run so fast, and she thought she was crazy. The maid said that taking other people's things and not giving them back is very bad, and she asks again for her hairpin back. Eris saw that she was trying her best to pretend that she perceived her as a princess, but she knows that all her promises will be empty, and she shouted that she will not give it back. She recalled how a new maid came to her and said that she would take care of her. Eris was very grateful. The princess was very warm. She looked like her mother, and she asked to take care of her. She was denounced for taking things out of the Ruby Palace and selling them. The maid is accused of theft. The court will sentence her. The maid begged the princess to save her. The princess ordered them to let her go. Eris was surprised that she was leaving. The maid said that she thought she would be useful since she was a princess, but she was a worthless bastard. The maid said that this princess didn't even have a mother and therefore had no rights, probably because she's a commoner. She didn't know the job was so dead-end. She's not her nanny. Sienna told Eris that she was tired of her too. And then the princess woke up. It was just a bad dream. The princess remembered that they were all leaving and realized that Sienna would be leaving too. She must have packed her bags the night before. Therefore, the princess thinks that it is better for her to leave now than to betray her later. The girl cried. Sienna came into the room and greeted the lady. She was glad to see that the princess herself stood up today. Eris immediately turned away. Sienna thought she might have insomnia. If so, she'd better get some sleep. No big deal. When a person is sleepy, his appetite is poor and his digestion is also poor. Sienna did not run away from her. Even after what she did, Eris started crying and asking for forgiveness. Sienna didn't understand anything. The princess said that she really didn't want to hurt her. The princess said she shouldn't be hated. Sienna said she didn't hate her. Eris said she was lying. Sienna was already beginning to think that she had been too cold to her. She told her that her behavior yesterday was really unpleasant to her, but she understands that children sometimes do thoughtless things. Eris apologized, and now she feels better. The princess said she knew she didn't like it here. Children are sometimes surprisingly perceptive. Eris said that Sienna has so much to do in the palace and she is here alone, and she is no use even though she is a princess. Therefore, she will help with the laundry and will not be capricious at food and will share with it. The princess promised to be a good girl and asked Sienna to stay forever. The princess and the maid. Sienna said she would stay. But now all she sees before her is a naughty little liar crying with remorse. She wants to help this girl grow up healthy and happy. After all, she is the princess's maid. After that, Princess Eris no longer behaved badly. Eris behaves like a good girl, waters the flower beds. At noon, he helps with cleaning. And with laundry, well, how can I say, he doesn't help much, but at least he tries. Sienna said that she has a more important task than cleaning and washing. She must study. Eris is busy with her studies. Sienna asked not to start over, because she promised to be a good girl. Sienna told her that she didn't need to read difficult adult books. She just needed to practice writing. For this, you will need paper and a pen. The man said that ink and paper are very valuable items, and he can't just give them to her. Sienna said they were for the princess's studies. He asked if she thought the other maids hadn't tried to trick him like that, because she is responsible for every item given out. Sienna did not understand who he took her for. If she requires additional supplies, she must obtain written permission from another member of the imperial family. He spoke as if there was a member of their family who would agree to this. Eris said that if she needed it, she could ask her brother Rashid. Sienna asked if she was on good terms with him. Eris said that her mother was friends with him, but he was the only one who could help her. Crown Prince Rashid. She thinks he'll respond positively to an idea like his sister's education. It's worth a try. Sienna agreed. She said she would send a letter to His Highness. The prince said they hadn't seen each other for a long time and asked how she was doing. The Crown Prince. They had only just sent a letter and he had already arrived. Eris asked why he came because they only asked for a signed permission slip. He said that the letter said so, that his beloved sister needed help, and asked how he could not come. And he also brought permission. He does not know who she is like, but Eris is very impatient. When a guest comes to her, she must show hospitality. And he told her to treat her brother to tea. Sienna apologized and said that there was no tea in the kitchen and they had nothing to offer him. But the prince said that it was okay, because he took everything with him. He brought real Darjeeling from Astazan, and he hopes that it will do. They were not far from the imperial palace, and she did not rule out that they would meet again one way or another. Sienna would never have thought that under these circumstances. She didn't understand why he couldn't take his eyes off her. She was shocked that he remembered her. He liked it. Eris said that she made him so tasty. This is the most delicious tea in the world. And it doesn't have any small leaves and it's not too hot. Sienna said that the prince brought such a wonderful tea. Eris said that it turns out that she is not just a maid, and she did not know that Sienna is a princess from a neighboring kingdom. The prince said that Sienna makes excellent tea. He is just as good. She was not mistaken. Rashid really does remember her. Eris didn't understand how they knew each other. The prince was shocked that Sienna didn't tell her about him. The princess said with displeasure that she wasn't interested in talking about him. Sienna really wanted to tell the princess that this was not right. This was too much. Sienna didn't understand what was wrong with the prince. Rashid said that he was the one who hired Sienna as a maid, and he sent her to work in the Ruby Palace. Eris was shocked and asked why. Rashid said it was because she was cute. Eris agreed, and Sienna didn't understand what he was talking about. Sol said that the prince had to be at the Imperial Council, so as not to be late, he had to go now. The prince said that he had not yet had tea. Sol told him that he had drunk almost all the tea. He decided to give her what was due. Eris asked what she wanted. The prince said a cup of tea. However, he had already received that. That was enough for today. They were shocked that he wanted to come tomorrow too. Rashid said that thanks to Sienna, he enjoyed good tea again. Sienna was flattered. Eris told him to stop hitting on her maid and told him to get out of here already. The prince gave her a task. By his next visit, she must learn to behave like a lady. The princess thought it was nonsense. Sienna said that he received the letter and immediately came in person and even brought her a signed permission. Eris said that he was doing it on credit. This surprised Sienna, and she asked again what it meant. The girl said that for this permission, she will owe him in the future. She and her brothers and sisters are competing for the throne, and she asked her how there could be a good relationship between them. And the crown prince just wanted tea. Until one of the heirs takes the throne, nothing will change. In other words, they are not siblings, but rivals. But Eris doesn't care, because she has no family, no friends. And she didn't want her to approach him, but she's glad he agreed. If he hadn't, he would have been petty. This means that they cannot be each other's support and support. Rather the opposite. And it's true. If he didn't care about Princess Eris, she wouldn't be living here in the dirt, abandoned by everyone. The princess only has power when she is already appointed as the successor. She also had to grow up early, and there was no happiness in her life. Sienna was preoccupied with how she could hide the pepper she didn't like under the table at dinner without being noticed, and how she could contrive to sleep late at least once. Eris asked Sienna if she would be her teacher now. Sienna wanted these childish concerns to be the only thing that occupied her, but now everything she can do for the princess will be very useful to her. Sol asked if he really liked Sienna so much. The prince said yes and asked if he saw her big eyes. She's cute as a squirrel, and Rashid doesn't know whether to take her for himself or wait. He could at least pretend to be surprised. He asked if he had noticed anything new when they were in the Ruby Palace. Sol said it was unusually clean. She put things in order there, and Princess Eris looks much healthier and more well-groomed. Sol was shocked that she even knew how to raise children. The prince told Sol that for a swordsman, he was slow-witted. Eris definitely opened up to Sienna. Sol was shocked and asked if Rashid had planned this from the beginning. He realized that Sienna treats people well, regardless of their status. Of course, this is not enough for him to fall in love with her, since the day her little sister was born. Eris's mother asked him if he wanted to listen to his little sister. She kicks with her legs. They have a complete coincidence of tastes. Everything that Eris considers cute, he also considers cute. Sol was shocked that he thought Greed was cute. The prince said that he wanted to come to Sienna's tea party again. The maid asked the princess how often he would come. Eris had no idea. Sienna met Juju and was very happy. They hadn't seen each other for so long. They met by chance in front of the warehouse. Juju said that she thought Sienna had lost weight and asked her if she had eaten well. The man told her to leave if they had finished their work. Sienna asked if it was because she had gotten bigger. Juju said she had been training in her spare time. Sienna said Juju was incredible, A friend asked Siana how she found the hairpin. She was so upset when she lost it. The prince thought that her beloved little sister would want to thank her, so he came to her. And they also bought a cake which has a lot of chocolate Kiana. Sol provided the princess with the cake, and Rashid said to take good care of her. The prince greeted Zianu. No member of the imperial family would greet a maid pouring them tea. Eris said it was delicious. She told her brother that Siana's tea was the best. She thought that 2 cups of tea for 1 document was unfair, and she asked if there was one more thing he could do. The prince asked what it was. Eris said that Siana's hairpin fell into the lake. Rashid promised to find it. He called 100 guards and drained the lake. Juju was shocked by this story. Honestly, it was just a document, but she didn't think he would be so generous. He gave her a package of soap and candles. He made clothes for the princess from luxurious fabrics and a lot of other things. And now it takes up a lot of space. The maid must be strong. Someone helps her. She can't believe that someone is helping her. The world is still beautiful. The prince came and greeted Siana. Siana apologized for not recognizing him. The noble lord. The prince said there was no need for that. He told her to look at her. He helped because he wanted to. But Siana didn't understand why. Rashid said that she was so small and the cart was very big. So he decided to help. That's the reason. Siana said that she ran away, saying that the princess was looking for her. But she thinks that His Highness is a little crazy. Juzu said he looked a little crazy. The life of a junior maid is no more valuable than the life of a fly. But it's not clear why the prince of all people. Juju is so worried about her. If she were nearby, she would be calmer. Or if she was in the Ruby Castle. Siana told Juju that she was talented too. 10 maids, 1 Juju. She was almost promoted to head maid. There was no way they were sending her to the Ruby Castle. Eris said that she came for her because she was gone for too long. And the princess is hungry. Siana said she made her some cookies before she left. These little cookies are absolutely delicious. Eris called her because she was hungry. That's why she couldn't even think about bringing another maid. The princess asked if she had spoken to her friend. Siana told her the correct name. The princess didn't understand why she liked her so much. She thought it was because of her height and muscles. Siana said she liked her because she was kind and sweet. While Siana took forever to carry 1 sack of flour, Juju carried 5 like it was nothing. Eris told Siana from today she gave her more meat and milk, much more than that Jup, because she wants to become stronger than her. Siana thought she was very cute, but this is not cute at all. That the prince came. Eris did not understand why the prince came again. He came to check if the pond was in good condition. He has already come 5 times to check. This cake features whipped cream made from white chocolate, and fruits covered with honey, and a bunch of other goodies. This time, Eris won't mind since he's sincere. Siana was glad, although this was the first time. The prince was acting suspiciously polite, with a simple maid of the princess. And she can't tell if he's in his right mind. Rashid came to the Ruby Palace again. He also brought a lot of cookies and sweets that Princess Aris likes. She doesn't understand why he keeps coming to the Ruby Palace. It makes the lady so angry. 5th Princess Yvette Leviwan de Prat. The Empress said that she should understand him. She is just a poor little child. 5th Empress Vernée Leviwan de Aron. The princess said that, nevertheless, her rank was higher and did not understand how this happened. She doesn't understand at all why he's so fussing over this girl. Yvette didn't understand how she dared to forget her place. In order to remind her little sister of her place, she must personally teach her a lesson as an older sister. She wants to have a nice chat with her little sister. She has prepared a little tea party for her, and Yvette hopes that Eris will gladly accept her invitation. Eris thought she was a crazy dog, and she didn't understand if Yvette really thought she didn't know that she wanted to make fun of her. She was infuriating. If she didn't come, there would be a fuss. Siana asked how she tormented her. During each tea party, they laughed at her every mistake in dress and behavior, insinuating that she had no right to be called a princess, because she did not know how to wear clothes and etiquette. They said that she was a princess only in name. Siana asked why Aris didn't do anything. The princess didn't understand what she was talking about. She had Siana. The maid said that she had absolutely nothing to worry about. She would prepare everything for the tea party, and she would tell her everything. Eris asked her who she was anyway. Siana was just a maid from a captured kingdom, Eris's special maid. Siana had been putting it off until now because the princess didn't want to study, but it couldn't go on like this any longer. Minimal etiquette. A person must know it to survive in the imperial castle, and not just to show off in front of others. The princess said that she was not allowed to drink tea until the master said so. Also, she was not allowed to make any noise while drinking. After taking a sip, she must put the cup down on the table. When doing this, she must not make any sounds either. Eris didn't understand why a simple tea party was so complicated and strange. Sienna said she was doing great. Eris smiled and thanked Sienna for her work. The tea was great. The maid said she was a good student. And Eris did a fantastic job. It was perfect from start to finish. Moreover, she learns quickly. Sienna was shocked that the princess was actually a genius. Princess Eris is a genius in etiquette. Unlike the nobles, for whom modesty is a virtue, the royal family members were completely different. Meanwhile, an uninvited guest arrived. Eris said to come in, but only this time. The prince noticed that she had become more reserved than before. The prince whispered to her if it was because of her. Sienna smiled and noted that he had a keen eye. She thought that the prince could help her pay for the jewelry. But she decided to forget it right away. She also didn't want to be in debt and decided to figure it out herself. Etiquette study completed. Next, clothes. Eris didn't understand how this happened. Sienna said she had prepared something. The princess was shocked that Sienna had been making this dress for the past few days. She wanted to prepare a dress that would fit her perfectly. And that's it. The maid asks her what she thinks about it. Eris said she liked it. Eris asked how she looked. Sienna said that she was an incredibly beautiful princess, and she looks like the Rose Fairy from myths. Eris asked if it was true. Eris said that she looks beautiful because she looks like her mother. So at today's tea party, she will be the most beautiful. As for the princess, she will win the heart of His Highness with her charm. For she is the beautiful and proud daughter of Lady Rosemary. Eris agreed. Sienna asked if it was time for them to go then. That dirty girl. Today she'll come back here like a beggar. Yvette recalled asking Eris how she could eat with her bare hands. Even commoners don't dress or act like that. Eris is degrading the dignity of the royal family. Yvette found the humiliations very funny. She already feels rested. She was very curious when this little princess from the dump would come. Eris said that she was very grateful to Yvette for inviting her to this tea party. The princess asked Yvette what was wrong with her. Sienna told the princess to keep smiling. To lose a smile at this point is to admit defeat. Eris said that Yvette didn't look very well. The lady said she was just so happy to see her. Yvette couldn't believe a savage like her was acting like a princess. Eris said that she was glad to see her too, and she missed her very much. Yvette said to come in and sit down. They had a lot to talk about. Eris told her sister that the tea was amazing. She was glad she liked it. The last time they met, this girl behaved like a monkey. But now there's nothing to complain about. The princess couldn't believe that she had changed so much because of this maid. Sienna told Eris that she had a petal in her hair. Yvette said that she was so worried about her since their last meeting, but she has grown up so much. And she is very happy for her. Yvette said that it seemed her cup was empty and asked if she could fill it. Sienna approached her, but Yvette said that she wanted her beloved little sister to pour her tea, not the maid. Just because you've learned etiquette doesn't mean you know it. Eris poured the tea with ease. Yvette was angry because not a drop of tea had spilled and the angle was perfect, as if she were serving the queen. She decided the only way out was to make a mistake instead of not. She picked up the mug and whistled. Yvette asked Eris what was wrong. The princess said that Yvette suddenly extended her hand. The lady said that not only had she hurt her, but she also did not want to admit her mistakes, and she must punish Eris until she understands what she did wrong. The princess understood that she would be hit now. Sienna grabbed Yvette's hand, which was already swinging, and asked her to stop. Yvette was shocked that the maid had just stopped her. Sienna apologized, but she couldn't just sit and watch her break His Majesty's rules. She didn't understand what she was even talking about. The rule that no one is allowed to punish members of the royal family without His Majesty's permission, even if they themselves belong to the royal family. Yvette did not understand how a simple maid dared to talk about royal rules. However, these rules are only a formality. The descendants of the emperor are treated according to how much power they have. Therefore, the weak will not cause any harm, no matter how much they are trampled. But if you openly punish another, rumors will spread about it. He told Eris that she had brought a bold maid. She is so happy for her. But even though she has learned the etiquette, it does not seem that her maid is disciplined enough. How a common maid dared to touch a member of the imperial family, and she believed that she should be punished for it. Yvette called Sienna a stupid girl and asked how she dared to disgrace the royal family of this empire. Sienna fell to the floor and was grateful to Her Highness for her lesson. Yvette was simply delighted. Yvette told Eris that if she no longer wanted to receive invitations, she should sit quietly. The princess asked Sienna why she did it. The maid did not understand what she was talking about. If it weren't for Sienna, Eris would have been the one who got the hit. But Sienna, knowing about it, got the punishment instead, to protect such a useless person. Eris said it was okay and offered to heal her when they returned. The maid asked Eris if she had treated anyone before. It was okay. She would show the princess how to treat wounds. First, it needs to be disinfected. Sienna asked the princess if she was crying, but Eris denied it. Sienna thought she was upset about what happened today. The princess confirmed it. The maid asked Eris if she wanted to become strong enough to take revenge, and asked her what she thought. Sienna asked if she could handle any challenge, even if the path to revenge was painful. Eris was ready, and she said she didn't care. Sienna said she would help her then, because she knew a lot about it.